I would like to invite Mr. Sathvik Shetty from QL Space, Australia, for his presentation. Similarly as for the previous ones, the time is for 10 minutes and you are invited to the dais for sharing your thoughts. Yeah. All the best.
Ladies and gentlemen and distinguished guests, a very good afternoon. I think it's indeed my pleasure and my honor to be present here amongst all of you at this prestigious Indo-Pacific Geo-Intelligence Forum, where we all have gathered to discuss and explore the role of geospatial technology and data in disaster management. I'm Sathvik Shetty from QL Space, a space-based startup from Australia. I'm the Chief Commercials Officer there. Friends, knowingly or unknowingly, we all have been consuming geospatial data on a day-to-day basis, right? Let's say you want to travel from point A to point B, GPS, thanks to geospatial data. You want to order something online and get it delivered, thanks to geospatial data. Let's say you want to find local business results around your location, thanks to geospatial data. Can somebody in the audience tell me, is there any other use cases that you use on a daily basis that consumes geospatial data? Anybody? Yeah. Cab booking, Uber, Ola, absolutely, absolutely. Good. See, we just discussed about the micro applications, but on a macro scale, geospatial technology can play a transformative role in urban planning, in natural resource management, environmental monitoring, and of course, disaster management. Talking about disaster management, the Indo-Pacific region is no stranger to natural disasters. In fact, half of the world's disasters happen in this very region, the Indo-Pacific region, right? It has the potential to disrupt the economies, to displace communities, and disturb the ecology. It is in this adversity that geospatial data can actually transform disaster management strategies. Let's have a look how geospatial technology can actually play a significant role in disaster management. A, before the disaster, it can provide early warning systems for better preparation. And B, during disaster, it can provide situational awareness for effective deployment of resources. And post-disaster, it can help in getting detailed information about the damage. This is extremely crucial for insurance companies to assess the damage and process the claims. Now, because we are from Australia, I thought let me give you some examples from Australia. Like every other country in this world, Australia too has been a victim of climate change. Right? In the recent past, we have witnessed coral bleaching, coastal erosions, floods, rising temperatures, and heat waves. In fact, heat waves and rising temperatures, they lay a perfect foundation to ignite wildfires or forest fires. Talking about forest fires, in 2019, Australia witnessed one of the worst forest fires in the history of the nation. Close to 18 million hectares of lands were damaged, 6,000 buildings were destroyed, 34 precious lives were lost, and $70 billion of loss to the Australian economy. And this is where I say, friends, that geospatial technology can actually transform wildfire monitoring and wildfire management. And let's look at it, how we can do that. Firstly, through Earth observation satellites, we can capture high-resolution images of the forest, like canopy cover, canopy height, in multiple spectrum bands. And when we analyze these images, we can get vegetation properties of the forest. We can get the chlorophyll content of the trees. How green are they? How dry are they? More the drier, more chances of both the leaves getting friction and fire. Secondly, we also collect ground-level geospatial data, such as terrain data, wind data, weather data, dryness parameters, all those factors that actually give rise to forest fires. Now we combine both these data into a trained AI and ML model, which can then predict the path of the fire and then help the authorities to be better prepared. And this is exactly what we do at QL Space as well. Now, QL Space is an Earth observation data company. We analyze satellite data as well as other geospatial data, right? And through our AI, machine learning, and computer vision technology, we can provide intelligence and insights to our business owners. Who are the business owners? A mining guy or a wind farm guy. We can give them information, and then they can then use this data to make data-driven and well-informed decisions in their day-to-day lives, in their day-to-day business operations and processes. Now, some of the sectors that we deal with in Australia are of strategic in nature and of national importance to Australia. For example, wind farm, agri, mining, and of course, disaster management. Talking about wind farms, see, before a wind farm developer develops a wind farm, he or she needs to do a feasibility study of the site, right? He needs to understand where to put the wind turbines, etc. And that's where we come into picture. We have a trained AI and ML model wherein we put the Earth observation images into the model along with other geospatial data, the wind data, the terrain data, the topology data. And this model can then predict the layout of the infrastructure, where to put the wind turbines for optimal performance and to get wind energy. Similarly, we can use our AI model for other applications for agriculture or mining, etc. Now, you may ask me, where do I get the Earth observation data for all these applications? We are dependent on external players. In Australia, we are dependent on external players and foreign entities like satellite vendors to give us Earth observation images. The problem with this is, when we are dependent on an external player, we have very limited capability or control over timely availability of data. Like in forest fire management, we almost need near real-time data, right? And even if we get near real-time data, we need some time at the ground level to process it. So we can't afford to get any delayed data, right? So one is, we have limited control over timely data. Second thing is, for my agri application or wind farm application, I need high-resolution images at higher frequencies, which means over a long run, it becomes extremely expensive for me to acquire data from a foreign vendor, right? And finally, all these sectors that I'm working on are of strategic in nature, and therefore the data security is a big concern for me if I'm going to depend on somebody else to provide me my data. And considering the Australia's width, length, of the country, its unique geography, it has its own Earth observation requirements. And therefore, at QL Space, we felt that there was a gap in the market. There was a gap in the market, and therefore we decided to build our own Earth observation satellite. And why is it required? We wanted access to our own proprietary data, sovereign data, so that we can empower our local industries and local authorities with timely data. End of the day, it becomes a nation's asset, having a satellite, on board. Now, what does my satellite look like? It is a multi-payload satellite with a CubeSat form factor, with multispectral capability, and thermal infrared sensors. The picture over there is a payload I'm talking about. Now, this, feature can actually capture wide swath images in visible and near infrared spectrum range, which is perfect for wildfire monitoring. Now, last slide. The thermal sensors on board, it can obviously find out the thermal radiation, it can capture the temperature distribution, and it can identify the location of the fire even at night and through smoke through thermal IR, right? And then you have the imaging sensors that can provide visual information. These two combined together can actually assist in finding out the fire spread patterns, right? Now, we have collected images from our own satellite, let's say. Now, finally, this images is given to the downstream team who have built a matured AI and ML model. So the data goes to our model. Now the model now can simulate the fire spread patterns. It can predict future events. It can find out the areas with higher probability of wildfires and give alert to the authorities who can then take actions and evacuation process. So in short, this is what we do at QL Space and to harness geospatial data and technology. Right? I hope I could give you a quick overview of what we do and how we're able to combat wildfires in Australia. So thank you so much for your time, and hope you enjoyed the session. Thank you.